Hey there, everybody. My mic was muted. Anyway, hi everybody. Happy Sunday to you. It's Region Weather Meteorologist Matt Wentz. Hope you guys are doing okay. I see. So I've got a problem here today. I don't know what's going on, but Facebook is not showing me what your names are. So it says Facebook user for everyone. So I'm so sorry I can't address you by name. I don't know what's happening with that. They quadruple the price of the software and then they don't have Facebook names on there. So that's terrible. But I see someone has got COVID this week, which we were just talking about last week. My whole family got it. All six of us ended up with COVID. I guess this was 2 weeks ago now that we came down with it. So Facebook user, I am so sorry. I hope you weren't around us, but man, yeah, it's not fun. Let me know how your symptoms were because I thought COVID was down to like a common cold, and it was nasty. We were out of it, but so good to be back at it. Our whole family feels awesome. We had a birthday party yesterday for our 1-year-old Silas, and he just had. We don't give like sweets to kids until their first birthday, like they get their first cupcake or cake or whatever it happens to be. And he had his first cupcake. He was just, I mean, it's like you just see his eyes light up. It's kind of funny. But we had a really nice party yesterday, and can't believe he's won already. He was won about 3 weeks ago, and as some of you know, we've been working on our kitchen, and we're cheap. I mean, we don't have a lot of money, and so we're doing it all ourselves. And by that, I mean, my wife did most of it because she's a designer, an interior designer. And it looks awesome. She did such a nice job. We redid all the faces of the cabinets and made them like a unique shaker cabinet. She's really into, and not that you guys need to know this, but she's really into like English kitchens. And we have a really old house. Like we bought a 1906 house, and it's got a lot of history to it. And so she's into English kitchens where things like don't always match. And there's like pieces of furniture in the kitchen and stuff like that. And it looks amazing the way she designed it. She has wallpaper on one wall. You have like stick and peel now. No one like puts actual wallpaper up. But it just looks awesome. And she asked me like what I needed out of a kitchen or what kind of things I wanted. And I wanted like the cutting boards to go somewhere. So she made this like pull out drawer for that, which is cool. She has like a little charging station, like inside a drawer hidden. And I don't know, not that you need to know all these details, but she did a really good job. But anyway, so that is done after 6.5 weeks of no mama. I mean, she's been working so hard on this thing, right? And so it's nice to have her back kind of helping with the kids. And it was nice to have a party to kind of, not just show the kitchen, but to kind of for the first time relax a little bit. So it's been a really nice weekend around here. So I hope you guys are having a nice weekend as well. All that to say, 6 minutes later, I know your time is precious and I'm sitting here wasting it. But it was a nice weekend in the Wentz household. And we're transitioning right between Halloween and Thanksgiving is next, and then we're in the Christmas season. I know a lot of you are already in the Christmas season. I do have a poll question for you guys. Has anyone put up your Christmas decorations yet? I feel like people are doing it extra early this year. I'm not sure why. I'm not opposed to it. But do any of you have your Christmas decor up yet? Because I just took down Halloween lights tonight. I have a couple coworkers that already have their Christmas stuff up. So I just want to know, general poll, do you have your stuff up yet? Is it too early? How do you feel about that? And we'll get to our sponsors while you guys are answering that. All right, let's breeze through our sponsors because I don't want to waste your time, but these are wonderful businesses here in Northwest Indiana. And I mentioned last couple of weeks, my stuff here that I use has gotten so expensive in the last 3 months or so. It's disgusting stuff is quadrupled. And these folks keep it for free, which is just awesome. So please support them if you can. FBIbuildings.com is the place to go if you need a pole barn constructed. And that can be commercial or residential. They do amazing work. They have some great homes that they build out of it, businesses. I mean, I'm telling you, my wife's a designer and she's like, that's some nice stuff. They'll also renovate an existing pole barn structure that you might have on your property that someone else built. So if you need that done, FBIbuildings.com, place to go. Meals on Wheels, they need your help. They're looking for volunteers. A lot of us, listen, if you're retired or even if you have time during the day, maybe one day a week, whatever it is, they're looking for volunteers. And what better time of the year to give some time of yourself for others who are in need. They need people to deliver meals. All right. That's all you have to do is you get to take the gift and give it to people who need it. And you're delivering smiles. And so they need some help. Guys, write this number down. Please call Faith if you're interested in this. This doesn't have to be a full-time commitment. If you can only give one day, then that, I'm telling you, that helps tremendously. It's Meals on Wheels of Northwest Indiana. They're looking for drivers, right? Someone to deliver a meal or multiple meals, obviously. Call Faith. All right. She wants you to call her. It's 219-756-3663. All right. 756-3663. Call her, tell the region weather, you heard about, this opportunity to volunteer. She'd be more than happy to take your call. So that was that. Okay. So there's that. All right. If you have some spare time, that's the place to go. PSA, that's our public service adjusters here in Northwest Indiana. They take any insurance claim that you possibly have, and they'll do all the work for you. So if you have an insurance claim on your property, go to them first, publicserviceadjusting.com. And what they will do is they will come out, take pictures, do everything you could possibly need for all that. And they'll go between you and your insurance company. You don't have to deal with any of it. They'll take care of it. They'll get you top dollar, more than it's worth sometimes that you get back. It's publicserviceadjusting.com. Tigerplumbing.net. That's our plumbers here in Northwest Indiana. They've been with us for over 3 years. They're awesome. You can schedule online. You can schedule on your mobile, take a picture of the problem, send it to them. That way they know what they're getting into. Plus, they come out for free, which is awesome. Tigerplumbing.net, place to go there. And then Minogue.life. If you have any questions revolving around life insurance or Medicare, Medicaid, all that stuff, there's some new rule changes and new laws that go into effect next year that you need to know about. If you're confused by those, you're going to be automatically enrolled. Michael Minogue's been helping in that world for decades, and he would love to help you out and sit down and talk through it. And again, he says, in terms of an individual plan for this stuff, there is no individual plan or there's no exact plan that's good for everyone. Everyone needs an individual plan that involves your medication, what kind of diet you're on, all the health issues that you may have or not. So he would be happy to sit down with you and come up with your individualized plan. Again, it's Minogue.life is the website. And also a PSA from him coming up on December 14th. This is a while from now, but the Maryville Lions are going to be hosting Breakfast with Santa and Mrs. Claus. They would love for you and any kids that you have to be there. It's at the Dean and Barbara Wright Community Center on Broadway in Maryville. It's $6 for kids and $12 for adults. It's from 9 to 12. Again, that's December 14th. What a cool event, right? As we look forward to that. Last but not least, we've got two more here. Kate Cusack for Ruoff Mortgage. She wants to become your primary lender or real estate agent here in the region. Refinancing is going to become a big thing over the next couple months as rates start to go down finally after they've been so sky high. So if you're looking to refinance, turn to Kate. She's just awesome. She's great to work with. People just rave about her. They have great times. Or if you're in market for a new home, it's a tough market right now, and she can find you the house you need, and she can find it quick and get you in. Kate Cusack, Ruoff Mortgage on Facebook here. It's Kate Home Loan Girl, Kate Cusack Home Loan Girl. You can check her out on Facebook, or you can also give her a call or text at 219-775-6645. And last but not least, Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valparaiso. They've got brand new Jeeps on the lot, ready to go, four-wheel drive for the 2025 season. How about that? They're beauties, and they've got them. Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valparaiso, right off of US 30. All right, so let's dive in. I'm seeing a lot of too earlys for Christmas decor, so there's something about that. That's great. That's awesome. And a lot of you don't have them yet. Okay, Thanksgiving before Christmas. I see that. All right, very good. And just a final PSA, those of you that are on Facebook, I cannot see what your name is. It says Facebook user for everybody, so I'm so sorry. But I appreciate all those that are with us here tonight to chat a little bit about weather. All right, let's dive into it, shall we? I want to start with this. This is the latest drought monitor that's out. We know we need rain, right? And we just got some good rain across the region. That's good. But look how much of the nation's in a drought right now. This is pretty incredible. I'm going on 16, 17 years in meteorology, and I don't think I've ever seen the country as covered in drought. It's not all severe. Some of it can be taken care of with a cold front with heavy rain. But this is just widespread how dry it's been the last couple months. And, that goes to show for us here in the region too. We know that. And so in terms of our local drought, we do have severe drought still. It's kind of expanded more so into the region. Basically north of I-70 in Indiana has been really dry, and we need anywhere from 3 to 6, even 7 inches of rain to make things right. And we got a little bit, right? We had that system come through. Here's how much rain fell with that. Here's the state of Indiana, if you can see the outline here. And we didn't get a whole lot, but we got about 1/4 inch to 3/10 of an inch of rain. All right, out of that, you can see some of the numbers, 0.25 around The Valparaiso area, Hobart came in about 0.20. You get the idea. Heaviest amounts fell down in Newton and Jasper County and Southern Lake County down by Lowell, and then over towards Stark County into the Plymouth area. Those areas saw over a quarter of an inch of rain. But, honestly, all that really did was put a Band-Aid on our drought. All right. It made it from getting worse. Good news is this time of year, we don't need a lot of rain for plants and farming activities and stuff like that. So any of these heavy rain events or heavy snow events, as we get into the forecast here, any of those, it's kind of bonus, right? I mean, we require rain this time of year, but not as much. So we need to get those ground levels back up. We need to get the ponds, the streams, the creeks, all that stuff going to get those flows and reservoirs and all that stuff loaded up again. All right. So big picture pattern right now. We've got this system that went by with the rain. It's off the East Coast right now. But what you notice when you look at this, last couple of weeks when we've looked at this, we've had either a big trough out west or a big ridge over us. Everything's been kind of either one extreme or the other, right? We've been just so warm recently over the last couple of weeks because we've had a big ridge in place. And what you notice on here as you look at it is everything's kind of going west to east. There's a lot more movement to the atmosphere now with a system that just went through. There's another one off towards the north here. This one's going to slide through the northern lakes over the next couple of days. We're not really going to be impacted by that. It's just going to keep us on the cooler side in the next few days, but near average. And then this system out west, the one that's coming on shore right now, that's going to bring us our next shot at rain this week, okay? Not expecting a lot of rain from it. I think it'll be pretty similar to what we just experienced with the system that just went through, but that's going to be our next shot at rain as it moves in, all right? So let's kind of dive into the forecast here. I want to stay zoomed out. Normally I go into Indiana and you can see it better. Here we are here in the Great Lakes, right? I want to stay zoomed out because this is that time of year where we start to get really active across the country in terms of storm systems. And most storm systems have a rain component and a snow component to it now. So I want you to see kind of the big picture of how these storm systems evolve. And I'm going to show the GFS, which I'm not a GFS lover. You guys know that. I tend to really rely on the Euro and then kind of throw in a little GFS if it's looking different or the same. But I want to show the GFS because it agrees with the system this week. So there's no sense in showing different models on that. But it goes a little bit further in the extended because there's a system on the Euro that comes in day 10 and 11 that we can't quite see how it evolves or how it could evolve. And the GFS takes us there in terms of how it evolves. Okay, so here we go. As we go through time, a little breezy tomorrow and cooler, not bad though. We'll stay dry as that system I showed you up towards Duluth and northern Minnesota, that kind of swings through the Great Lakes, just kicking off more rain in the Northeast. That moves through, big high pressure sets up. Tuesday looks pretty nice. Our flow will start to turn around from northwest to southeast as we go on into Tuesday. So that's a warming wind that'll start to take place. Looks good too. We'll have sunshine with increasing clouds. And then Wednesday, this is when our next system comes in. What's interesting on the modeling is that this system has, the way it's evolved over the last couple model runs, it was picking up, most of the models were picking up on a strong area of low pressure midweek into like Wednesday, Thursday time range. And it had a lot of wind with it. And the last couple model runs have really backed off on that, which is interesting to see because typically to go the other way around where the storm gets stronger versus weaker. But this system's coming in a lot weaker. There's not phasing of the two, the southern branch and the northern branch. They don't phase together to form a strong low pressure. They kind of stay separate. And so the system doesn't look like a big one this week. It's kind of backed off in terms of its intensity, which means the wind is backed off a little bit. It's still going to be breezy around here Wednesday. Here's our low pressure. This was where the low was supposed to get pretty strong. But now it's looking a lot weaker, as I mentioned. But this will bring rain in here on Wednesday. So you can plan for some rain on Wednesday. And it'll kind of linger into early Thursday as of right now. I don't see a lot of rain with this. Again, maybe a quarter of an inch, half an inch at best from this. But as of right now, it doesn't look like much. And you can see as it moves through, it's just not much of a system. It doesn't really become a strong low or anything like that. All right. So once that goes by, good news is we'll clear things up for the weekend. All right. And I know a lot of you with weekend plans, especially as we get into holiday season here. Maybe you're doing an early Thanksgiving. Maybe you can't get together with someone or family members on Thanksgiving. Some people doing some early Thanksgiving. I know we've got some folks doing that. Looks good this weekend. Saturday looks good. We'll start to pick up a southwest wind. That'll be a warming wind, and we'll start to warm up. By Sunday, a storm system gets going. And watch how the Gulf of Mexico moisture, here's the low, it's going strong, but it's got to wait for this Gulf of Mexico moisture to kind of attach to it. So what I'm expecting late Sunday as of right now is some development of some rain around here, all right, as that moisture finally catches up with the front and the low. So you can see this is Sunday night into Monday. We've got rain developing around the region, all right. Does it develop over us? Does it move in over us, or does it develop east of us? All those details still need to be figured out. But the modeling agrees that there will be some kind of system around to end the weekend into the beginning of next week, all right? And what that system does is it brings in some cooler air, nothing crazy. But what happens after that is this sets up kind of a train track, if you've heard me speak of that before, or a boundary that kind of sits, and that's where the storms will go for a while after that until that train track gets moved. And what that does is it develops kind of a path for this next system to take. And this next system's showing up on the Euro, the Canadian, and the GFS here. And this is the one I'm a little bit more interested in, all right? We're now up to Tuesday, November 19th, okay? So we're now into the following week, not this week, but the next week, which is not Thanksgiving week yet. Thanksgiving's late this year, right? So this is the system that I think we need to watch, because there's going to be some kind of low pressure that develops in the southern plains. That's all the details I think we should kind of see at this point. All right, it's a little too soon to like say, hey, we're going to get rain on this date and snow on this date. But look at the cold air diving into the western U.S. with this one, all right? This is more reminiscent of what you'd see in mid-November around here versus kind of what we've been seeing. And as of right now, the GFS develops a big low in the plains. This would be probably a blizzard if this were to happen. Again, we're up to November 20th now. This would be a blizzard out in the plains, though. Another big storm for Denver, which just got rocked with some snow. And on the leading edge of it, there'd be rain and wind and be warm. And guess where we are? Rain, wind, and warm. But that cold air has to come east at some point, all right? And the GFS kind of retrogrades it back towards the west and really fans this system out. But there's this big pool of cold air sitting in the Rocky Mountains that's kind of eking into the plains there. So we've got to watch that. And then the GFS would bring that cold air east finally, kind of dragged in with a low, and a new low develops. And that would bring us our first snow, all right? And you could see it moving through. It's not much. It's more the cold air that's the bigger story with this. But the GFS is showing the potential for our first snow sometime around the 23rd and 24th, which is getting into Thanksgiving week, all right? So we'll see. Again, this can change. I don't want us to set this. I don't want you to, think, hey, we are definitely going to get snow that week. But it's interesting because all the models have that low digging out in the Four Corners region. And if that's the case, that's going to bring that cold air in. And that cold air, again, has to come east at some point, and the GFS kind of takes us through that solution of when it comes east. And what's interesting to note, and this will change in the next couple runs, but as of right now, this brings in that cold air, and then it kicks off some heavy lake effect snow around here Monday the 25th. This is now Tuesday the 26th, which is like travel Tuesday and Wednesday before Thanksgiving. We would have some snow on the ground at that point, but we'd have high pressure building in, so there wouldn't be snow falling, all right? And just kind of looking ahead, if I were to look at this and predict what would happen on Thanksgiving, there'd probably be another low that develops in here that may bring us, again, and this is fantasy land, but I'm just speculating from a meteorological perspective. This would probably bring us a warm up with some rain, with some snow on the backside of a new system that would develop here. All right, just kind of looking at the modeling there. Meanwhile, they would have a hurricane around Thanksgiving off the East Coast. That'd be fitting. But that's kind of what we're looking at. All right, some cold air coming in just in time for that. All right, let's take you through temperatures real quick. I do want to show you kind of some of the modeling on this. Let's go to National Blend first. And you notice there's nothing crazy cold about temps, right? We stay right near average. A couple ticks above average here in the extended, but a lot of 50s expected this week, with a little warm up this weekend and then getting cooler next week. The Euro does this with our temps. Let me go back to the 12Z. The Euro has us a little bit cooler this week behind that front on Tuesday, but this isn't a bad forecast. 40s and 50s are very comfortable this time of year compared to what we could be dealing with. And then the always lovely GFS has 50s and near 60 as we get into the weekend. And then here's where that cold air comes in that I showed you, right? We showed this to you with the 30s coming in just leading up to Thanksgiving. Again, take it with a grain of salt, but I want to show it to you because it's there. All right. And what we'll continue to do next week and then the week after is we'll track this. Okay. And we'll continue to keep an eye on this. And I'll let you know, hey, that cold air is still showing up in the GFS. And hey, the Euro has that cold air now. So we'll see what happens with that. But this would be followed, in my mind, by a little bit of a warm up, probably back into the 40s and 50s for Thanksgiving, the way it looks right now. Okay. All right. So that's what we've got there. The other thing is, I feel like everyone is worried about, people are thinking about snow, a lot about snow, and they're like, why hasn't it snowed yet this year? Well, I want to show you some stats real quick. And I know these numbers are kind of off the chart. The only ones you need to be concerned with are these that you can see right here. But these are your first measurable snowfall dates here in the region. And our average, as I said at the beginning of the month, is November 16th. So our average first measurable snow in the region is typically this upcoming week. Okay. There have been a lot of years recently where we haven't had snow up to this point. So we are right on par in terms of snow in the region. We're not behind or anything like that. Last year, it was on Halloween, all right, which was well advertised. Year before, it was the 15th. 2021, it wasn't until, and I remember this year, I mean, it was only a couple years ago, but we had it just before New Year's Eve was our first snow. We went snowless November, December, most of December. And then you could see subsequent years. I mean, there's a lot of Novembers in there. There's a lot of Decembers in here earlier on in the month. So I just want you to see that and understand that we are not behind on snow. All right. Our typical first snow comes up this week. So it's not one of those years where it's like, you know, oh my gosh, we're snow free and what's going on. So, okay. So that's what we're dealing with. All right. So go ahead, throw your questions in the chat right now. Again, I cannot see your names as on Facebook for some reason. It says Facebook user for everybody. So there's that. That's not your excuse to be rude. But a lot of you, I'm so used to saying hi to you guys every single week, and I can't say hi to those folks. So there's that. All right, let's see. We'll start with Ethan. Ethan says a couple runs earlier showed wind and snow in the Great Lakes. Now it's not showing anything like that. Yeah, Ethan, that's why it's really important. And again, I'm not going to go on a soapbox, but there are Facebook pages out there. There's a lot of weather Facebook pages, right? And a lot of them are kids who are, you know, trying to be or are going to be meteorologists one day, which is great. You know, I support the science. I love the fact that there's so many people engaged in weather, but there's a lot of sites that they will latch on to a model, all right, and they'll post it. And that, just make sure this time of year that you're just filtering out the junk, okay? Don't like and share that stuff, all right? If there's a winter storm coming or if there's a chance of snow, okay, we'll tell you about it, but I'm not going to post something like what we're talking about today with the potential for maybe a snow coming in before Thanksgiving. I'm not going to clip that. I'm not going to put a big Arctic blast on it and headlines and throw it out there. And that's what a lot of these sites are doing, and they're getting paid for it, which drives me nuts. They're taking advantage of people and using not necessarily scare tactics, but like aha tactics where it's like, whoa, there's a big snow coming on Thanksgiving. We don't know that yet. All right. It's impossible to tell that. And to Ethan's point, these models change 4 times a day and they're saying something different every day. And until there's consensus and an actual something I can pin my credibility on, I am not going to post it on there. And I just pray that you guys aren't falling for that either. All right. It drives me nuts because it does a disservice to the science. And those are the people, you know, people that see that stuff come to me and say, well, you guys said there was going to be a winter storm on this day. And I'm like, well, show me the receipt of when I said that. That's not me. So, you know, that's kind of what we do is put out fires this time of year. So just, I hope you know that for sure. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so Facebook user says, hi, Matt. Hope you and your family are feeling better. Did you decide what day we'll be doing your weather broadcast yet, Sunday or Monday? Oh, that's sweet. I love that. And I love that you catch us on the radio side of things too, Facebook user. I wish, can you guys put your names on these? This would be great. Yeah, so right now we're going to stick with Sundays. You know, as we get into the winter season, I want to do more than one broadcast because this Sunday night's not enough to talk about everything that's going on, especially if models change and there's a storm coming, let's say Thursday, Friday. So ideally what I want to do, I do like Sunday nights because it kind of gets us ready for the week. But I also like kind of something in the middle of the week where we can plan for the upcoming weekend or anything late week as well. Okay. So that's what we kind of decided is I want to go to 2 broadcasts a week, if that's okay with you guys. You don't have to join if you don't want to. That's fine. Again, these are here to help you guys kind of plan and stay ahead of any winter weather that's coming our way this year. So that's what we're decided. So we'll probably just be adding a broadcast sometime midweek. And this Facebook user is excited, fingers crossed for snow. Hi, Dave. Thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel. I appreciate that. Susan from Portage. Thank you for putting your name in there, Susan. Will we get any winds like we had the past couple of days? Susan, I do not see any strong wind coming our way this week. I did last week. This system that's coming in Wednesday, Thursday, again, as I mentioned, has a lot of wind with it, or it did have a lot of wind with it, probably 30 to 40 miles per hour. It's backed off a bit. So I would, our strongest winds this week are probably going to be between 20 and 30 at best. And that would be with that midweek system. So I don't see anything huge with that. And again, I want to show you receipts with this. So let's just look at it real quick. We'll go to the Euro. I'm going to switch it over. We're going to zoom in real quick. And what I want to show you is, let's go right to wind. And we can kind of show you the winds that are going to be coming our way this week. Because I haven't looked at the map. I'm just from, looking at kind of what the weather's going to be doing. That's what I'm seeing. So tomorrow is going to be a little breezy, 15 to 20 mile per hour winds tomorrow. Here's your wind in the Great Lakes from that system that zips south tomorrow. We don't get much of that. Again, tomorrow's just breezy here. We're fine on Tuesday. Here comes your wind threat later this week from the system. And you notice there's not a lot of wind with it, 20 to 25 at best. And then it backs off for the weekend. And then maybe a little windy as we get into next week, but that's still fantasy land. So yeah, nothing big. Our breeziest conditions are going to be next couple of days here, or next 24 hours. And it's just going to be on the breezy side. That's it. Yeah, Ethan, good question. Could the rain and wind system next week bring 50 mile per hour gusts? Also, there's severe weather in Michigan. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, Ethan. I don't see a whole lot with this one. I really don't. I see some wind coming in from the one across the Great Lakes, but we'll have to keep an eye on the ones that are coming Thanksgiving week. Those have a little bit more of a punch to them for sure. Let's see. Yeah, Facebook user, I do. Sorry about the Facebook user part. Do you think we see a flip for winter? I still do. I'm still on the snowy side this winter, and that takes a lot to say that we're going to have a snowier winter because everything's kind of going against us, right? Things have been warming up subsequent winters. It's harder and harder to get snow, it seems like, in the patterns we've been in. But we are flipping over to a weak La Nina. It's not a super powerful La Nina this year. It's kind of on the weak side. But if you go back and look at all the analogs or all the years that we've had a weak La Nina, especially coming off an El Nino, which we had multiple year El Nino. But if you look at all the analogs for that, they tend to point towards a snowier winter here in the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes. All right. And there's so many other variables that go in this. There's like 18 different things we can track in terms of ocean oscillations and ocean temps and all that stuff. So there's a lot of different things that it's not just El Nino and La Nina. It's all these things combined, and no one's figured out how it all works yet, right? There's no magic formula that says if it's this, it's going to snow in Indiana, right? That's not how it goes, but we can kind of generalize trends. And the trend, I'm still leaning towards more a snowier winter. Whether that means we're just finally at average versus the below average last couple of years, I feel like it's going to be snowier. So I do think it flips at some point. What I've seen and what I think all of us have kind of noticed is things tend to be starting a little later. Where we really don't seem to get going until December around here, and we really don't seem to get going until January around here, right? And I know that's kind of counteractive, but you know what I mean. I mean, it starts December and then really gets going in January, and then spring kind of is delayed. I feel like it's been cooler into spring, so we'll see. And that's the beauty of it, is the fact that we don't know, right? And it's always fun to track. It's like getting a bucket of popcorn and just kind of watching what Mother Nature wants to do. And that's kind of where we're seeing here. That's funny. 2 nights for the winter will be good. Good comment, Facebook user. Susan's happy about 2 broadcasts a week. Me too. All right. And this Facebook user wants snow for Christmas. Yes, we all do. It's festive up until Christmas, and then it's not festive after that, right? Because then we have to deal with it and drive in it and stuff like that. So we'll see. All right. I think that's all. I hope this was helpful. Again, I don't want to waste your time anymore than you want your time wasted. And so, again, that's what we're looking at as we go throughout the week. We've got some rain coming our way midweek, and then we'll keep our eye on what looks to be a more active pattern next week in terms of maybe some winter weather getting involved in these storm systems. And then it just gets exciting after that. Once we're at Thanksgiving, boy, storm systems can really bring anything, and they can bring some heavy stuff to us. So we'll see. We'll see where we go from that. All right, guys, have a wonderful night tonight. Have a great week. We'll be with you, obviously, on the radio side of things, regionweather.com. with the latest forecast to your inbox every single morning. And we'll be right here on our Facebook and YouTube channels as well. So thanks for taking time out of your schedule to join me tonight. Hope you had a good weekend. Have a great week, guys. All right. Talk to you soon.